Want a quick solution? When you go out on that first and second day, ask 2 questions. Are you okay with signing a prenup? And what your body count is. Sounds super aggressive, doesn't it? But it's only going to trigger and rub people the wrong way if they have hidden motives. Why? I say just jump straight into it for this right here.
On prenups. You good with a prenup?
Me giving it or me signing it?
Both. You got assets you want to protect.
I'm not signing a prenup.
You not?
No. Now, will I have one drafted? Maybe. But I'm.
Yeah. There we go. Shout out to Shannon Shop, bro. You know how to capitalize off of these people. You might not agree with them. You might not even care or give a rat's ass about anything they got going on outside of that camera. But you know who to bring up there. Now, y'all heard her off the rip, and she's going to go into some more garbage. But she's telling you off the rip, what's yours is hers. What's hers is hers. There is no duality. If you've seen the full story or if you've seen any of her catalog, you already know that she's a hypocrite and she says whatever the hell she needs to say out of her mouth for the convenience of her viewership. Now let's hear her explanation for why she feels the way she feels.
I'm not signing one.
Why?
Well, why would I?
I mean, I just think, look, even before I should tell my homeboys, I say, y'all got a prenup. They say, Shop, we ain't got nothing. Mm-hmm. I say, so when you leave, you keep all your nothing. You don't want half of your nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, I get it. If we we get to a relationship, okay, I got X.
Mm-hmm.
We get to this relationship and I get YZ. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm cool with that. But you're not finna get X. I had X before I met you.
So a prenup that would be appropriate for me would be a prenup that lines out. If I stepped out and performed infidelity, mm-hmm. this is the amount that will be paid out. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be pennies.
Okay.
If we were to divorce amicably, mm-hmm. right? Which I don't believe in that.
Right.
So I'm never leaving unless, like the Bible says, 2 things that are permissible to leave, which is infidelity and unfaithfulness. That's it, right? Otherwise, I'm not leaving. So we're going to work through everything else.
Death.
Well, death do your part, but you're still married in the covenant, you know?
Oh, okay.
But so if the prenup said if we were to divorce, then like you said, right, there's X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Okay, Doc, you get Y and Z, you know, and maybe not X, but Y and Z is something that
we could split.
No. We're not. What do you mean splitting? No. I'm not splitting.
Hello.
So let me get this straight. So if you offer the prenup, right? And you step out, he can't get nothing. But you can just leave the marriage, or he can leave the marriage. Everything that he had. Or are you telling me that with your prenup, it's just specifically designed to protect all of your assets before and after? And you don't offer him anything in turn due to your infidelity, but if he steps out within your prenuptial agreement, then he still loses. Am I hearing that right? Tell me if I'm tripping.
I'm talking about on the prenup, you're going to be lining out what exactly goes to me being your wife.
Right.
For sticking by your ass, submitting, loving, making love, not denying, and pouring into you, because I'm going to give you everything I got. I'm going to flip this whole table for you.
Everything?
Everything.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say no unless I don't have the bandwidth for it. Then
Okay.
it's just that I don't have the capacity.
Right.
So in that prenup, you're going to draw out, if I cheat,
Right.
this is the amount that you get. And it's going to be a large ass amount so that my heartbreak don't also feel broken in my pockets. One. Number two,
Okay.
if you got X, Y, and Z, it's going to be lined out that, let's just say X is $20 million
Right.
of a property. I don't mind if you say, hey, then Doc gets 10 million of this one. And then of Z, Doc gonna get her 7 million. But it's gonna be lined out clear on what I'm agreeing to. There will be no prenup that says, if we divorce, you get nothing. We don't marry.
Okay.
I'm not signing up for that. That is, to me, a woman who would sign up for that, I just feel like it's not that she's in it for love. I feel like she's been misguided.
Okay.
And again, I had a father. So
Right.
my dad would turn in his grave if I signed up for that. And he would turn in his grave if I didn't get a prenup.
Right.
So I would have a prenup that said, hey, baby, you know, this is my stuff. And I couldn't see a man who's a man's man, like you said you are, like my father was,
Yeah.
who would have a problem with signing a prenup with me that said, I built all this. This is mine.
There it is. There it is. You gotta be trolling. You gotta be trolling. A man's man. Who are you fooling? Who are you trying to gaslight with that bullshit? Listen to them long enough, they will tell on themselves. Period. All of his shit, he can lose it. Or he has to at least give you something out of it. The whole point of a prenuptial agreement is to protect the parties who got done wrong, or to make sure that they don't get screwed over in divorce. It's to keep it fair and neutral on both sides. You want all of the power and positioning while also getting everything out of the person. This is why I say what I said at the beginning of the stream. Have the conversation off the rip. So you already know exactly what type of time they're on. Ma'am, do you see what it looks like out here in the world? People are manipulative. They're greedy. They're going out of their way to ensure that they have a solid stream of income coming in, whether or not they're working or not, even at the expense of sacrificing their womb for 20 years and then leaving. You trying to make women feel bad for going into this, trying to do right within the confines of their relationship by saying, oh, they got low self-esteem, or they this or they that. A man ain't a man if he doesn't want to protect his brand and his hard work. So he's weak and he's a fool for wanting to protect his shit. But you get to spend all of his money. You get to do you and be in control. You sound nuts. You gotta be grifting. You gotta be. And anybody who signed up for this deal is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you meet somebody that you are actually into, man or woman, have the conversations, the real ones, and then figure out from those conversations if it's worth moving forward with. Easy fix. Save you time, save them time and money. How anyone is listening to this, I can already tell you're listening to it because you are control freaks. you got it in your mind that you're never wrong, that you can do whatever you want, while also making it appear as if the man is pretty much your slave. He dedicates his entire life to you. Something goes wrong, he still has to pay out to you even after. Yeah. At this point, I don't know how the hell anybody listen to her, man.
I just don't see a man's man wanting that from me or from a woman,
Right.
per se. I just don't see that. I see now a different kind of man,
Right.
you know, maybe saying I want, but who? No, I wouldn't marry that type of guy.
Or are you on prenup?
Yeah, that's why you're not married. And that's exactly why you're not married. And you probably won't. Any guy who marry her, she look at you like a puppet. She pulled the string. She run that relationship. You ain't gonna never run that relationship. She ain't gonna never respect you the way you would hope her. No. Can't believe she said that stupid shit. Why would anybody sign up for that? You're confused about your sexuality. You can't keep a relationship. How many proposals have you had and none of them fell through? But you sitting up here trying to give advice. And you ain't even being honest about it. You're being controlling and you're being very manipulative about the whole approach. Nah. Not over here. Sorry.
Welcome aboard the flight. This is pilot who shy to talking. We going back to Memphis and coming straight from New Orleans. The estimated time of arrival is about an hour. And I can turn your ghost if you try and play with my power. So when you look up and see the sun flashing, stay in your seat. If the flight attendant say you making trouble, then we got beef. The turbulence might get rocky. You better not spill your food. This is bread and plain if you get it messy.